then best of 5s. The grand final is going to be a best of 7 with a 1 map advantage. And let's introduce our players. So, starting here in the top left-hand corner of the Ephemeron, this is Blysk.
Down in the bottom right, spawning in green, playing for Legacy, it is Azure. So, first of all, let's dissect the map a little bit. How do you feel about this map for TVP?
I feel like, well, for me personally, I don't like any map for this matchup because I don't like the matchup. I just think that Protoss is kind of broken on every map in almost any scenario.
Yep.
So, like, every map is Protoss favored. But, like, I'm not biased or anything.
Yeah, sure.
What about you?
I think this one's actually pretty damn good. Personally, I've been messing around a little bit as Terran lately, and I found this one's been pretty good for, like, mech. I don't think Azure will mech here. But you've got options for proxies, like, for instance, Proxy Banshee or Proxy Liberator. You can put it in two locations, either, you know, sort of like the 9 o'clock or the between the 12 and the 1 somewhere. And both are going to get there pretty quick. So definitely an option. And I think, did he go gas first here? Or no, this is Rax gas, right?
Rax gas.
Yeah, so probably not a proxy. Probably just...
an eBay block. That's cheeky. I haven't seen that in a little while.
Yeah, it's cool to mix it up, right? First game in the series, you know, just throw his tempo off a little bit, get under his skin maybe. I like it.
Yeah, it can force Protoss to go and take the other base. That looks like what Blysk is going to do here. So this Nexus is not going to be in the best position for Blysk, and if Azure is going to be aggressive, he can push into the main or he can push into the third. And it just takes a little bit longer for Blysk to move his army units back and forth.
Yeah.
Might have to spend a recall or something like that.
Yeah, maybe even hold off on probing it for a little while, because that Reaper's still going to be pretty deadly. And without an Adept, he doesn't actually have that much mobility, right? Like, a Stalker's pretty slow. And a Stalker's not going to kill a Reaper if the grenade hits, or if the Reaper's, you know, sort of microed pretty good. So I think Blysk, maybe it won't finish in time anyway, but he's just going to be chilling in his main with probes for a fair while, like well oversaturated.
I like this as well, making the command center on the high ground.
Really?
Because you're investing the minerals into the engineering bay, right? So you don't have the ability to make a bunker.
Right.
And he's gone Reaper in a reactor, he's not making a Marine.
Sure.
And there was always that danger, like if you're going to make the command center on the low ground, the probe harass, it gets a little bit dicey.
Yeah, I see.
Double Stalker now. Factory going to finish up. We'll probably see like either a Cyclone or a tank. We'll see. What's he going to make? Azure is banking up quite a bit of gas. Yeah, he's going to throw down that tech lab.
I'm always surprised not to see a starport, but I guess is that usually something you do off the gas with?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. I mean, a starport would be perfectly fine, but there's some other options as well. You can delay the starport. Like he's going for a second barracks, and he'll be able to get stim. And really, Liberators don't do that much when you've got Stalkers on these sorts of maps. Like, what are you going to have? A medivac but no Marines and no units on the ground.
Yeah.
So if you get some more bio out and you get your stim out, and then you've got your medivacs coming up later with a later starport, you can find that you've got a meteor army on the ground and you can do some more damage. Particularly when you've like got this natural base, or this first expansion is out of position, more units on the ground is stronger for your first push.
Yeah, sure. Especially on this map, I guess, you get a pretty brutal siege up on that rock area in between the natural and the dirt. So only
like,
one tank, right?
Like down here,
yeah,
like put some tanks in here. And
yeah, or even to the right above those stuff.
Yeah.
So he's only built one tank, right? So that's pretty much just a safety tank. He won't really push for that. And then he's just going to go into, you know, acquire like 3 racks, maybe take a third, or maybe 5 racks.
And we'll see this starport come up now. The factory will make a reactor, and then we'll go into some pretty standard play.
Yeah, it's not that one.
And what have we got over here from Blysk? We've got the robotics facility, robotics bay. So this could either be for Colossus or Disruptors. Could also see a speed prism. It's kind of less likely. I feel like it's more likely going to be like Blink Stalker, Disruptor.
I'd say Colossus.
Well,
yeah.
all right.
So
I'll eat my words very quickly.
I talked to Blysk about this a few days ago, and he's actually been struggling a lot with marine tank pushes and early bio pushes, hitting around 6 to 630.
Right.
And he's been talking to, I think I saw him talking to Roddy earlier as well, and Roddy was saying basically, you just get, I think he said Charge and Colossus, and it just melts the push. So Azure's going to be going for one of those pushes, so it'll be interesting to see how Blysk holds that. He's totally skipped Twilight for now. I think it's about time he adds a Twilight pretty soon. Like, Forge coming down, usually that's paired with a Twilight.
Yeah.
So maybe see Armor and Charge, or perhaps possibly Attack and Blink. So yeah, but no third CC for Azure, right?
Not yet, not yet. He'll probably make it as he moves out with this push. He's getting those first 2 medivacs coming out now. Stim, combat shields, +1 is going to be done by the time he moves across the map. And it looks like he's just getting a bit of scouting information, pushing that Marine across the map, wanting to see what does Blysk have, what army
he sees the
has
Colossus.
he made. Sees the Colossus, only 1 shield battery there, so he's got a decision now to make. Does he push to the third or the natural?
I definitely go for the in between and just try to maybe even like cut off the army and sneak into the natural with a tank or something like that. It's hard
he's
for
going
Blysk
for that
here.
third. And the scan, like Blysk is kind of playing blind here. He's getting that observer out, but he's only just now going to see those units pushing up. But Azure's not going to get a siege up
Nice
at the
focus
best of
fire.
times. Yep, very nice. Tank might get 1 more shot off. And the shield battery is doing some work. It looks like we're trading reasonably evenly. But I think this is a good trade for Blysk because he's got that third base up and running already.
Yeah, I'd say that's a small win for Blysk. He's got the third base up and running. He's probably going to start to pull ahead in upgrades, even though Azure has the lead now. Once those Chrono Boosts really start to kick in, I'd say maybe not. Maybe not. He's only halfway done. And Azure is adding his armory in a second eBay, so yeah, maybe Azure holds the upgrade lead.
Yep.
So that's interesting.
Just 1 cheeky Zealot being warped in. The slow warp in as well. Is he going to scout maybe? Like push that around into the third and look at that timing?
Perhaps.
It's just the most random Zealot I've ever seen.
It's got to be, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's a really nice scout. Although, this
There we
random
go.
Zealot here,
Yeah.
Azure is not going to commit to that drop anymore.
No.
It's unfortunate for Blysk because if Azure did move around the left-hand side, Blysk could maybe get some snipes and pick those medivacs off.
It's almost like the Zealot there almost didn't want to scout it because he's seen it with the Observer, right?
Yeah, right.
So seeing it with the Observer was great, and then the Zealot kind of gave away that he knew. So a bit unfortunate. But
This is dicey. Azure, he needs to pick up this third. He's not going to be able to defend that. Unfortunate timing with the orbital. That's not going to finish.
So it looks like he's going to come in with a flank with that Bioforce that's out on the map, but I don't know if it's going to get there in time. It's so far away. Blysk is just going to jump on top of this army, surely, and melt it.
Yeah. Yeah, Azure, I feel like he kind of forgot about those units around the left-hand side, and now he's going to have to pull the boys, but he's already down 20 supply.
This is tough.
This extra warp in from Blysk, and the rest of the army's coming up from the back.
Really nice micro by Blysk, saving those Colossus, pulling him right to the back behind his bio, and that's going to be it.
Oh, that's pretty gross. GG.
Well played.
Nice. Well, Blysk is going to be feeling pretty good about that win. I mean, just slapping that win down on the board, getting it out, flopping it on the table, and just being like, I'm here, I'm ready.
I'm here to play.
I want to get through that winner's bracket and start playing some more poker later.
Yeah.
That's him. All right, so the second map, what was that? That was...
Simulacrum?
No, that was Eternal Empire.
Eternal Empire?
Right.
Okay.
So we'll host up that lobby and we'll get straight into that if the players are going to be ready. But that looked pretty good from Blysk. Azure had the right kind of plan, but the execution once he had that third base up and he was moving his units around just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, definitely forgot about his army, I'd say. You'd at least want to, if you're not going to pull them back immediately, send them out for a counterattack and try to do like a base trade or something like that. Yeah. Just having them sitting sort of on Smoko, not what you want.
Yeah, and the Blinkstalker Colossus.
Yeah.
It's been a staple of the matchup for
So
so many years,
Yeah.
but it's strong. It's really strong.
Never seems to go away.
Yeah. All right, players are ready. Let's jump in. So Azure, he's going to need to get some back-to-back victories, and I feel like the head-to-head score is, it used to be a lot more even, but Blysk seems to have Azure's number.
Yeah.
His PBT's pretty good. Like I feel like it's the best matchup that I see him play.
He's very strong in it. We didn't quite get to see it pan out in that game, but he was following that up with Dark Templar.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting if he does that again. I think it's really strong, though, that he does that because, you know, if you're Azure in that position and you go for a counter harass, or, you know, he goes for a base trade, it's kind of like a nice backup plan where you can just warp in a DT. You know, you just follow it around, 1 or 2 DTs, and over time, that army's going to melt. It might do some damage, but, yeah. So spawning up here in the top right, in the green, playing for Legacy, it is Azure.
And over here in the bottom left, this is Blysk.
So this is a best of 3. Being up 1-0 in a best of 3 is a huge mental advantage, I think. Oftentimes we'll see the player who gets a win up go for something a bit more risky, play a bit different to how they usually would, maybe, if they were game 1. We'll see what Blysk likes to do. I know he used to like to do like the 2-gate Stalker pressure with shield batteries.
Yeah.
There's lots of options for Protoss in the current meta. You know, you can go for DT drop, Stargate.
You know, talking about like best of 3s for a moment, what I actually found, and maybe I'm just a contrarian, but I found that I was kind of comfortable if I lost the first game, but I knew what I could have done to win.
Right, yeah.
Because then I can turn around and I can still get 2 more wins on the board. But I actually felt a lot more uncomfortable when I won the first game but lost the second game.
Yeah.
Because going into that third game, like
Yeah.
after someone's just adapted and now it's evened up,
yeah.
I seem to have a much worse run. But we'll see. Can Azure tie up the series?
Yeah. What do you think he takes out of that game? What could he have done better?
I think it's just all around positioning the army and probably the push into the third as well. He lost a little bit
See
too
the
much.
units back up maybe.
Yeah.
See the 2 Colossus. No, you're not going to get damage done. Pull back. Take that third. Keep the upgrade lead. Hit a 2-2 timing maybe.
Yeah. Oh.
So it does see a factory building with a reactor on a tech on a rack. So that could mean Hellions, right?
Especially with where that's positioned, right next to the racks, right on top of it.
Yeah.
It could definitely mean that he wants to lift that up.
Yep.
And yeah, probably get a few Hellions. Now, if you have a look at the choke,
Pretty wide.
it is pretty wide. It's not the widest we've ever seen, thanks to these rocks here. Reaper going to jump up and see what's going on.
Blysk is way out of position in this. He should get at least a probe, right? Or 2?
Yeah, at least 1. Bit of micro. So this is now some lost minerals as well for Blysk.
Oh, Craig.
All
Did he
right.
drop a force field? Oh. Okay, he should get another one down here though, right?
Oh, he should. He should. But we'll see how good
Dude.
Blysk's micro is.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's just going to go for it. It's
Yep.
worth it. It's worth it.
Pretty good damage.
We've got those Hellions coming out. The Adept doing a little bit of damage. And it shades away to safety. And similar sort of story here again, although the Blink's going to be a lot faster than it was in game number 1. I wonder maybe if there's going to be a gateway explosion. Like when Blysk is up, he can play really aggressively still.
Yeah.
He might want to go for some sort of timing. And I find that timings are pretty strong against players that open up like Hellions because they're committing all of those resources early on, like the minerals into the Hellions, which are just not good. They don't scale well past like 4 or 5 minutes at all. We'll see how much damage Azure can get done here, though.
Has Blysk got a unit to scout that drop coming in? Oh, did he see it with that
I'm
probe?
not sure if he saw it. I feel like the probe was probably getting its vision blocked.
He's warped in.
He's got some units in position already. Yeah, the Medivac loses half its health and just has to...
That sucks, because when are you ever going to be able to find damage with them again? You know,
right.
1 or 2 Stalkers holds that off from now on, which is a pretty small commitment from Blysk on the defensive.
Yep.
So
And Banshee with Cloak is the follow-up, but we do already have the robotics facility with some observers going to be coming out. Robotics Bay again. Third base. It's almost identical to game number 1. It's just a slightly different order around the Robo and the Twilight Cancel.
Yeah.
Faster blink.
Oh, double factory coming down for Azure.
Hello.
So I thought he was going to push with this, with the Banshees and the tanks, but I think he's actually going to maybe get speed for the Banshees, use them for like a mobile harassment, just distract his opponent while he establishes mech, because it is a very good mech map. You know, you can get your 3 base very easy. Your 4th base actually has a rich Vespene Geyser if you take it on the low ground. So I actually kind of like... I'm really interested to see how this pans out, but credits to Azure, this is awesome.
Oh, the drop did absolutely nothing. So that was an investment. 500 minerals, 100 gas, all for naught.
Maybe he could have paired that with like a Cloak Banshee harass a bit later, or something like that.
Or once you've got your armory, at least do a Hellbat drop or something.
Yeah.
That was a massive waste. When you lose 4 Hellions, that's a command center.
So Blysk still hasn't figured this out, right? Has he seen it?
Hello, handsome.
Yes.
Oh, the Banshee speed.
This is awesome. This is like TY style mech. And this is actually, I've seen Blysk complaining on Twitter about how hard this is to beat. So interesting that Azure goes for it here. I think he's picked the perfect map for it, I must say.
Let's have a look at what Blysk has seen so far. He sees...
he has seen enough to make the read, but has he like
maybe
really
to suspect it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, because that tech lab could have lifted off, right?
Yeah,
and just gone and made like he switched it for Stim. So,
but he might make the same units, like whether it's mech or bio.
I think you'd skip armor upgrades though, right? For weapons if you knew, and probably go immortals.
Yeah, true.
I think he doesn't know.
Immortal Archon, Zealot. Okay. Well, with that observer, he's going to find out pretty soon when there's no more Marines and when the Cyclones pop out. So really, he's going to know 100% in the next 20 seconds. We'll see if he wants to pivot. He's putting on that Templar Archive, so that'll unlock Storm and High Templar Archons. I feel like he might have thrown down a Dark Shrine if he knew for sure, because the Dark Templar are a more efficient way in gas usage.
Yeah, and you don't
to
really
get those
want
Archons.
Storm, hey.
Yeah.
Plus DT Blink, actually late game, can be really handy against mech. Probably not so much on this map.
Yeah.
But more on maps where you can like blink into the main and start sniping production.
Double Armory coming up here. Azure, pretty content. He's going to be sitting back, powering up. Might see a push out of him when he gets up to about 170, 180 supply. And he'll want to be doing that around like 10.5 to 11 minutes.
Yeah. It's an interesting style of mech that he's playing because it's different to the style of mech we've seen, I think, for a while. It's leveraging the Cloak Banshees a lot more for like mobile harass.
Yeah.
And also the Cyclones and the Hellions to sort of snipe bases because they melt bases very quickly.
That was a good drop. That did a lot of damage. Still lost mining time.
And he definitely knows now.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Oh,
the Cyclone hit on a Zealot, not the Prism, so that's a bit of a mistake, but he'll clean it up eventually.
And there's still a Zealot.
Doing damage.
What is going on here?
Yeah, Azure's...
He's fallen to pieces.
Yeah.
I think you should go back to playing Beat Saber. He is real good at that game. Oh, yeah. Finally gets that pick off on the Observer. Now Blysk, he feels comfortable to be out on the map. He's large and in charge. Looking for maybe a push around to the third.
So this is where, as Azure, I would just not land the fourth just yet, and just maybe go harass it with the Cloak Banshees. Just say, you're not coming up my ramp into my third. I don't need my third straight away. Maybe I can deny you a fourth. So probably try to trade those pieces, because I think establishing a fourth against this army is actually pretty dangerous. It's really mobile, and he's got to come down a ramp and siege up.
Yeah.
So interesting to see how he deals with his position at the moment, because he has to do something, right? He can't sit there. Yeah, it's tough to go down that ramp. So here's the Cloak Banshees coming into the natural.
I feel like Blysk actually might have enough just to push through here. There's quite a few tanks, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough if Blysk commits.
He can at least lift the third, right?
Yeah.
His tank position's not the best, I must say.
Not the greatest.
Maybe even break those rocks, so he can get in there a bit more.
At least take out one of those refineries. But Azure, he's getting some turrets. He wants to kind of prevent any more warp prisms from flying into the back of his base. Still moving around the map with some Banshees and some Hellions, trying to find some way in to do damage. But Blysk's defense so far has been so good. And the upgrades coming online for Azure as well, getting those +1 armor, and going to be getting the weapons as well for those mech units. Doesn't find too much. It's not even really worth investing the Hellions at this point. You'd rather have Hellbats in your army and be able to do a push, but just constantly siphoning off these units and doing nothing with them just prevents your push or your max out timing.
In the time that he's pulled that army back, I would have liked to see him maybe try to land the fourth, because he has pulled the army entirely back, but he's still on 3 bases. He's not really accomplishing anything with it. So, how many Banshees has he got now? Is that... Oh no, he's going to lose this one.
He's got 3 Banshees, 2 Banshees, 13 tanks, 2 Banshees, and a handful of Hellions
so
against this.
Yeah, it's really going to be hard for him to make anything happen. I think as long as Blysk is patient and he doesn't try to over-attack, I think he's in a great position. Yeah,
Blysk also has some transition potential, because he can start adding on Stargates of his own and continuing to put units like the Immortals into his army. But he's just pushing forward. The Disruptor doesn't connect, but a massive blink forward onto all of Azure's army here.
Just not enough in front of that army. The tanks were so unprotected that Blysk could just get straight on top of them, and he's going to take out all the tanks. And that fourth is naked.
Yeah, it is naked. I feel like Azure might be able to hold the push, but he's going to get kind of behind.
Well, Blysk maybe overextending a little bit here. Maybe just take the fourth and keep your econ advantage, but his army's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty beefy. String of Zealots are coming up. Going to fortify up the rear.
That looks like an F2.
Yeah.
Just, maybe he didn't have a prison. Maybe we'll...
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Nothing wrong with F2.
And that command center is still alive. Azure lost... Oh no, he's also got that 5th up, so he's got some options. He can try and double expand and keep one of them up.
Yeah.
Get a planetary.
It's pretty hard to kill 2 at once.
Yeah, it is. 2-2 coming online for Azure in a couple of minutes. He wants to wait until that's up, and hopefully, in his mind, he'll be able to max out around that time, but he really cannot afford to do this sort of harassment. If he continues to lose these units, I don't see what his win condition is.
Yeah. So that was pretty good for Azure.
Very nice.
Blysk really shouldn't have gone up there. That choke's pretty deadly. I think he was expecting Azure to have most of his forces at his 4th base, but he split them pretty nicely, so small victory for Azure there. He's taken the supply lead. And in terms of upgrades, I think Blysk is slightly ahead, right? That's +3 armor researching.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'd say this is pretty even right now.
Azure is going to be feeling good about getting that 4th up. 5th coming up for Blysk. How's he going on his gas? He's not mining all of his gases at each base. But Azure's economy is just stabilized quite a bit.
Oh, that's a brutal position. That's really nice from Blysk.
That's
really
super annoying.
That.
But as soon as you get a tank sieged up on the high ground, you can shut that down. And Blysk not paying attention, loses 2 of those Stalkers. We're going to have... What is this upgrade? Is that War Prism speed?
Or maybe Observer speed?
They look the same to me.
We'll find out soon.
Yeah. Someone can let me know. But now Azure is suddenly up 35 supply. And he's just macroing up. His 2-2's finishing, so now he's got a chance. He's got this timing that he can hit. Blysk is going to want to delay this push as much as possible. You know, whether he just sits in the middle of the map and kind of kites back. But he'll need some delaying tactics. If Azure was able to get this whole army and shove it down Blysk's throat, I think like a good siege position on this this 5th base would be, if not checkmate, it would be a check.
So, yeah, it's very much up to Blysk right now to handle the map. He needs to play the map well, or else he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And DTs are going to help him do that a little bit.
All right, Mad Max Fury Road up in this. There we go.
Recall. Still going to lose most of them before the recall happens, and then he should be able to run them out. No, they're going down.
And what about over here?
Quite a few went down. And it's getting to the stage where he's maxing out. He probably doesn't need them so much. Yeah, it's worthwhile. It keeps Blysk off the map.
Yeah.
So
and especially because he's got that 4th and now he's also got this 5th base, he can afford to throw away all of those cheap units because he's going to be remaxing on units that cost gas. Like, see, he's just making his army better and better now. He's got the Thors in production.
Great timing on the Thors, by the way.
Extra tanks, extra Banshees. And this is the time when Blysk is saying, I'm going to start my transition. There's the Stargate's coming down, Dark Shrine as well.
Azure's out of position massively here. Almost his whole army there. Only 4 tanks here to defend this 4th base.
Yeah, might lose the... oh!
Nice.
Not
Still
the best shots.
left though. So
yeah.
So as Azure here, how do you feel about adding ghosts in for this army?
Yeah, it's good if you've got the APM and the control. Unfortunately, we're Australians, so that's not always the case, but he could try. It depends.
Yeah, I think maybe once Azure Blysk gets to carriers, it's going to be harder for the ghosts. Especially also Blink DTs surprisingly are good against ghosts if you can catch them out in the map. You know, so as the game gets chaotic, a few Blink DTs can erase ghosts. So it'll be interesting how Blysk opts to use that. I presume he'll probably be trying to maybe blink over those depots just there into the 3rd base, into the main
Watch
base.
Blysk's supply here.
Oh, I'm glad he pulled back when he did for his sake, but he took a beating there.
That was questionable.
How's he going to deal with these Banshees? He has no money to warp in. I don't know if he even has an observer.
I think Azure's just won this game.
Yeah. I love this style of mech. It's so, like, you can just be speed patient, but then, counterattack. It's pretty nice. Banshees are so much fun to play with, and so much fun to watch, I find.
What have we got in terms of the anti-air at the moment? We've got 2 Thors, 3 Cyclones, that's it. The Thors will do pretty nicely against the carriers.
Yeah.
But maybe Blysk can buy enough time to get 5 or 6 carriers out, and then they can still do it right against the Thors.
Yeah, I think if Azure knew there were carriers made and in production, he wouldn't make this push because his Thors are going to get picked off there straight away.
Oh.
Nice focus fire by Blysk, targeting those Thors. So he has no anti-air. The carriers simply win.
Yep.
So
crushed.
Azure made a big mistake there. This is painful to watch. If only he scouted that army just to scan, or maybe dart in with the Banshees before, he never would have made that push. He would have waited for 3 to 4 more Thors.
Yep.
Yeah. that's
the power of +3 armor.
Yeah, it's going to be a while, but they're going to die.
Can someone just make us a cup of tea? Oh, wait. Blysk, 106, 103 supply, still losing a whole bunch of his economy.
Yeah, because his anti-air as well is quite weak. So honestly, in this position, I wouldn't mind seeing Azure even make a couple more starports, because even if you're not going to use them for Vikings to kill the carriers, you could still use them for more Banshees.
Certainly could. Although once you get a few of these Phoenix out,
Yeah.
You don't really want to make too many more Banshees, or at least you need to have something to deal with the Phoenix, whether you make some Vikings, but...
So that must be what the upgrade was. He wanted Observer Speed to catch the Banshees.
Right. Another recall over here for one Hellion. Well worth it. And I think there was 5 Thors in production, and so like 4 of them just popped out. 4 more in production. Azure's looking like he just wants to max out on Thor Widowmine.
He'll go again, Banshees. But this time with anti-air.
So it's all going to be about how powerful carriers are with +2. But how many do we have? We've got 3.
Nowhere near enough. Yeah. I think Blysk's only way back into this game is to just try to occupy Azure and probe up, because he's never winning with this army. Honestly, I can't see the game going on.
I'd recommend him like shorting the power and blowing a fuse, but now we can just resume from replay.
Yeah. His options are pretty limited.
Although, no, if we had a blackout, the replay wouldn't save, so that would be sweet. So here we go. Those Widow Mines, they're really trying to search for those interceptors and killing a bunch of them. Blysk doesn't have the best economy to be able to replenish the interceptors either.
Yeah, they don't come free. So those are basically 6 supply paperweights right now.
Yep. I don't really see much of a path back here for Blysk.
The Widow Mines are on cooldown, so the Immortals and the Archons are going to be really good against these Thors. I'd like to see him even pull back the carriers to stop them getting sniped there. But, I mean, Blysk does clean it up, but at what cost? I mean, he's still down in workers. He's not rebuilding his worker count. And keep in mind, Azure 76 workers plus mules.
I don't know, man. Like, that fight was actually really, really good. And now he's got a decent army. He's got the Immortals, Archons, some Blink Stalkers. Thors are not good against this.
If he can get on top of the production, he could even checkmate in here, right?
Thors are really not good against this.
Oh, no.
He's 30-40 supply down, but I feel like Blysk might just win the game here.
Oh, this would be tragic. They can't run away. They're too slow.
They're too fat and slow.
Oh,
you need tanks, or you need more Banshees or something. This is so strange, like, looking at the supply.
Oh no, this is a painful way to go out.
Oh, it's not over yet. The Thors are starting to clean everything up. The Immortals not being able to get the best engaged there. So Azure holds. Blysk, if he wasn't recalling for one Hellion defense, he'd probably want to recall these units.
Now this is the scrappy part of the game where I think a couple Blink DTs can be really obnoxious. Like, you run in with the DT, they scan, you blink away. Great recall, by the way. That was a really nice recall. Gets out with everything.
Okay, now Azure, he's lacking a little bit of economy, but Blysk is lacking a whole lot more.
Yeah.
54 workers. What's his saturation? Garbage. Mediocre. And he's like mining this one out. So he's on maybe 2.5, 3 bases worth of mineral economy. He doesn't have a whole bunch of gas. He's making a mortal disruptor and trying to get this base established in the bottom right. If Blysk can get one more good fight, maybe hit a few decent disruptor shots on a clumped up group of mech, he's still good.
Yep.
But Azure's going to max out. And he's making extra command centers. He's taking these extra bases. So he's got a sizable advantage.
Yeah. I think, I'm not sure why he's gone away from the Banshees. I feel like the Banshees here add so much mobility and counter harass for Blysk. Because I think Azure's main problem is he can't attack. But I think he shouldn't really be trying to attack with his main army. He should probably try to maybe... I mean, this push is going to be pretty scary, though. Like, what can Blysk do against this, right? Yeah,
now he's got a much better mixture of units. He can put them into... The Hellions can become Hellbats. He's got the tank line, leapfrog.
Oh, that's a big hit. Well, he needed those. Some Zealots here could be very big, so I'd expect Blysk's next Warp in to be Zealots or Blink DTs. Oh, how many? Oh, I wonder how many scans he has.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have blinked him straight away, but either way, still a pretty good 3 tanks.
Good trade.
It really comes down to how many scans Blysk has, Azure has saved up. But regardless, this is another pretty good fight for Blysk, right? The Immortals are doing work on the Thors.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we do that again. It just keeps happening.
This is Groundhog Day.
Yeah. They just keep having the same fight over and over.
Warp in of Stalkers.
Really should be targeting the probes.
Yeah. Should be going for the probes, but
a lot going on.
Whatevs. Or doesn't want to lose that wounded Immortal. Oh, the tank.
I'll take him.
Too slow. Yeah. Okay, so Blysk now resaturating. Well, saturating this base for the first time. Looking good. The Hellions transformed into Hellbats, and they trade much better against the Stalkers, but Blysk is got a micro. Shouldn't lose another one of those Stalkers. Just barely keeps that alive. And not much going on in Blysk's production tab.
No, even on work, he's pretty low. So this gets into a weird situation where the map actually could start to mine out. Like we've got a ways to go, but nice. So I think Azure really needs to split his Hellbats. No, there's no disruptors, so he's good.
This is it, yeah. The tanks are going to clean up everything on the ground, and Azure's done it.
He found the formula.
He's got a sick economy behind.
Yeah.
And look at the reinforcements. Okay.
Does he have scans? Yes.
He does.
Yeah,
GG.
That's going to be a game. Crazy game. 27 minutes in the end. And look at the player cams as you're so relieved to have finally won that game. Looked dicey for him at points, but in the end, that economy just prevailing and the upgrade.
The game blew my mind, man.
That was awesome.
I don't know what we just saw.
Can we look at the army graph?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll try and get the army graph up on the stream for you guys, but it was topsy-turvy.
That's for sure.
And Blysk was massively ahead for 3 to 4 minutes.
It's just that one into the natural of Craig, of Azure, sorry, when he walked up that ramp into the natural, he bled out a lot of army value right there.
Yeah.
So, and from there, he just sort of, against mech, it's hard to regain that tempo because what can you do? They often, once they get a planetary up, they can camp it. He's got Banshees to harass. He's got Hellions to run by. He's got to expend a lot of his, not only his resources, but also his focus defending. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Craig goes with on this this final map because the third base on this map is very far away from your natural. So I wouldn't say it's a mech map, but you never know. Maybe it's a sick mind game. Maybe he wants to do it. Maybe he feels confident in it. Maybe. Do you ever see BCs against Protoss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, never say never. They're not that good, but they can catch a Protoss off guard if they're not preparing for it.
See, and Blysk opened Robo game 1. That's what worked well for Blysk.
Yeah.
Perhaps Blysk will go back into Robo, so maybe BC wouldn't be a bad call, but yeah, Azure's got plenty of options. He's got plenty of options. Blysk, I'd say it'll be either one or the other between the Robo opening now and the Blink opening. He could mix it up and go Stargate, I suppose.
Yeah, it's one thing that we haven't seen too much. Like in the game so far, he's really committed to that Colossus opening with a fast third base. But we'll see if he wants to mix things up. Blysk has always had like such a big variety of builds and a bag of tricks up his sleeve. Anything from a one base timing and like proxy gates straight off the bat to 2-base Stargate play. That was his bread and butter for a while. And Azure, although I will say, I think he's pretty good against the cheese.
Yeah. I know it frustrates him when he loses to it, but I think he is pretty good against it. And maybe because he plays pretty safe. He gets that Reaper. He does the Scout. So anyway, spawning down here in the bottom right, we have in the green trunks, Azure. Look at that new logo. What do you think of, Death, when you see that logo?
What do I think of?
Yeah. Is it what I think of?
I don't know what you think of. I don't know if I want to know what you think of. Is it tentacles?
Yeah, man, it's a tree. It's a tree, but it's an interesting one, right? Like
So it's like a tree with anime hair.
Yeah.
It's a Rorschach test. All right. And up here in the top left, with a much more traditional logo, it's Blysk. Oh.
Game resumed.
That was unintentional.
Yeah. Just some BM on the players. Yep.
I think I used up my 3 pauses there. All right. Probe coming up. Love tap on the SCV. You should never see a Terran player at this level lose an SCV early on.
Yeah.
But it does happen.
Yep. Happens to everyone. Just like same in ZVP. The Protoss will always patrol their probe just outside the natural to see when the lings come, and even the 6.9k Protoss on KR lose their probe. Everyone does it from time to time.
I'm just going to call out as well. This map is so dark.
Yeah.
Like, look at that natural. I can barely see it.
Yep.
It's like I'm wearing my sunglasses. Oh, hello.
So
Hi, big boy.
what could this be for? Like, he's got options, right? It should be either Twilight, Robo, or maybe a gateway for a gateway push.
Yep.
I think.
I'm leaning towards the Robo. But that being said, the gas could be. What's he getting? He's getting it at depth, so maybe a Stargate.
Yeah. And
Although
there it is.
Yeah. Azure, he's checking around, and he's going to see that there's only one pylon. And sometimes you can really see, like, by process of elimination or like what's missing from that main.
Yeah.
He'll know probably that there is a
And look, he's sending the
proxy
Reaper up.
Yeah.
Wow. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, it's a good read.
Nice. So that's. What do you do from Blysk here? Do you just make maybe one Oracle, one Phoenix, and then transition, or you don't cancel it now, right? It's almost done. You might as well. Can he get an Oracle out here?
Yeah, you can get an Oracle out 100%. Yeah, you can get the one, so you always commit to it.
Oh, and he's got the Adept to protect it, so yeah, he'll definitely get it out. Probably get a Phoenix out as well.
Yeah, and if Azure went for a couple Marines early on, you could just bring a probe up and make a couple more pylons. So you can commit to it, and you'll always get a couple units out. Stargate coming up, or Starport coming up from Azure, wrong race, and a Cyclone. So he'll be able to get a Cyclone and a Viking if he really needs it to defend. Oracle coming back home. Reaper Harass coming down here. Gets a probe. Could get another one. Well, he's going for it. Oh,
He's going to get it. Oh, no.
bruh.
Oh.
Blysk was he was so frustrated. He just brings that Oracle home. 25 energy. Kill. And yeah, Viking. Cyclone. We'll probably see Azure go out and try and shut that Stargate down pretty soon. But if a few more Phoenix come out, it gets kind of dicey.
So does Azure go for a push here maybe with to because if he can shut down the Stargate, what does Blysk have to defend? Like if he has 3 cycle, oh, this would be a big pickoff if he can get it.
No, he definitely won't get it.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing a decent
nice
amount of
repair.
damage.
Great repair. So
He would have loved to have gotten at least one of those Phoenix, but decent control by Blysk.
yep.
Azure lost a lot of mining time, so his economy took a bit of a hit there.
Is he going to pull the boys?
He's pulling him.
Pull the boys. Go for a push. Because he can build bunkers
You
with
called
this.
it.
And he can also take down the wall with the Cyclones. So this is going to be interesting. I don't think Blysk has seen the boys coming.
No.
Because otherwise he'd be building shield batteries. And currently he has 0. 0 shield batteries. Maybe going to drop one down now, but it's not going to finish.
Looks like it.
So he'll probably try to kill the air units, then land the Viking, I think.
Yeah. Interesting, he's making a barracks behind this instead of just going for bunkers on the on the high ground here.
The SCVs are tanking all the fire. Like, Blysk's army's melting.
Yeah, I think Azure will probably be able to push through here.
Yeah, because those Cyclones alone can take down the Stalkers with good micro.
Blysk is going to need to pull his boys.
Yeah, and he's not.
Sure battery's going to go down.
Yeah.
And
those 2 pylons are powering that one gateway. There is another pylon in the black back powering the other 2. He's just going to go for the gateway, which I like.
Slowly picking off the Cyclones. Really nice control there by Blysk.
A Liberator too. How do you ever push into this now?
That's tough. That's a really nice Liberator position.
These gates are going to go down. And what can Blysk do? He can warp in. He can build Immortals. And oh no.
One Immortal is going to be pretty good. He can kite that back. Oh, the Cyclone.
Oh, the Cyclone.
Oh, the scan. Oh, that was a sick play.
Yeah, Azure's playing this really great. So he's probably not going to kill Blysk with this right now. He's going to do a lot of damage. What does Azure have to follow up with this?
He's got a barracks infrastructure. I think he's got 3 racks. We'll check on that in just a moment. And loses one Cyclone, losing the last Cyclone, but Stalker's going down. Pretty even trade on both sides.
Yeah, and great micro from both players there.
Yeah. But Blysk is going to have the 3rd base.
Whoa, he took a 3rd during that? That's crazy.
It just shows how good his macro was after he lost 3 gateways.
That's confidence, man. When you see that army, and
I don't think it was confidence. I think he just had the bit.
Just had the money, no warp-ins. Just like, I'll do it anyway.
No, it's definitely a good call, though. Jokes aside. And going into the Colossus, researching thermal lands. So we'll probably see the game stabilize. Like, we had a crazy push, but now Azure has his economy.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of the boys, but he's got saturation now in his main and his natural.
So is this going to be a 5 racks all in?
That's definitely quite different from game 1 and 2. This is going to be committing to a second wave, a big follow-up push once he's got that stem and the combat shield. So expect to see him moving across the map in about a minute and a half, and looking to push on that 3rd. All Blysk needs to do is defend without taking too much losses.
Is he going to pull the boys again?
He could, yeah. Yeah, you'd probably see like 10, 12 of these SCVs and like some of the gas ones.
Yeah.
You know, coming up into this 3rd position, or if he can kind of get up on here and make some bunkers.
He's even making more SCVs.
So,
yeah. And, you know, he
bunker
does know
here,
3rd
bunker here.
So must be. Like, yeah, the bunkers are going to be really big. This map's also got a really big distance between the 3rd and the natural. So if Azure can wipe out Blysk's vision and sort of dance between the 2, he can possibly get like a really good concave, maybe even upper high ground if he goes up the natural ramp.
What's Blysk's vision like? What's he seen? So he knows that Azure doesn't have the 3rd yet.
Yeah.
Does he need to be pushing out at this point?
Absolutely not. I guess the tank, kind of, yeah, he's pulled a lot of the boys. Oh, those Zealots are going to be so frustrating. I think Azure's just got to go. Forget about
everything. Just boost it.
Get across the map. Get the bunkers down.
Blysk, 3 army supply behind, but he's got shield batteries, defender's advantage.
Yeah, and he's
got the warp ins.
Quite a bit of energy on those sentries too, so he can use that to buy time. Really needs to work out where Azure is, and he'll do that with these Stalkers.
It's a thick, meaty amount of boys. And here we go. There's not enough tanks here to trade against Stalkers effectively. We're going to need to see some patience from Azure. I don't think it's going to be enough. The 3 Colossus with the extended thermal lance upgrade is just crushing through Azure's forces.
Great micro from Blysk.
Force fields were okay.
Yep.
But Blysk now 30 supply up.
Yeah. Azure just can't get anywhere near him. As soon as he runs forward, Blysk is just going to force field. So, yeah, this has been a really nice hold from Blysk.
Nicely played. Nicely played.
Yeah.
And Blysk is just going to Keep warping in units and crushing this force. Expect to see GG come out. GG, well played.
GG.
Yeah. Blysk takes that series 2-1. Is going to advance in the winners bracket.
Yep, and Azure will drop down to the lowest bracket. He's still got a chance to take the tournament. He's not out just yet. We haven't seen the last of him, but yeah, definitely not what he wanted there in that last game. I think the push was really nice with the Cyclones and with the Marines.
Yeah.
The Liberator follow-up was nice. Just maybe, I'm not sure if maybe a third base, but it's hard because you have no infrastructure, right? Like, he really only has, like, what, 2 racks and a factory? I guess he has a starport.
He didn't make SCVs enough behind the push. I was looking at the production tab. He had pretty spotty production. He had the right idea, but
yeah,
I think Blysk's micro was just good enough where
it was good.
Picking off those Cyclones and just picking off the units. And then once Azure lost a whole army, it meant that the next wave was kind of impotent.
Yeah.
And he didn't have enough tanks, maybe produced too many Cyclones as well. But still, good series, good games.
Yeah. Great games.
Yeah.
Great games, especially that game too. That was a treat.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see anything like it again in this tournament, or maybe ever.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was really good fun. It was good casting with you too, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good way to kick off the day.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we got
2-1.
2-1.
Blysk. Yeah.
So I don't think we'll be having a winners interview with Blysk. Maybe. Looks like he's still at his PC.
Yeah, he's still just like tapping that keyboard away. He's already into his next ranked ladder match. No, actually, he's checking Liquipedia.
Oh,
he's looking at the brackets, seeing like have they already updated my my lifetime earnings.
Yeah. How many league lack points did I get?